Hello, in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about magnitude and opposites. Starting with some definitions, magnitude is nothing more than a number's size, or how big it is, or how much space it takes up. And then the opposite means that you have the same magnitude as another number, but you're in a different direction on the number line. Both concepts, magnitude and opposite, are going to relate to how we view numbers on a number line visually. So for example, I have a number like 3, I could plot it on a number line at its location here to the right of 0. A number like -5, I could do the same thing, plot it at its location 5 spaces from 0 on the left. And I can now have a visual example of which number has the greater magnitude, or which one has the larger size. +3 ends up being 3 spaces away from 0, so it takes up 3 spaces on the number line, while -5 takes up 5 spaces away from 0, so it actually has the larger magnitude. So even though -5 is actually less in actual value from 3, it has a larger magnitude because of the space or size that it takes up on the number line. This idea relates to another idea in mathematics called the absolute value. And while you don't need to know a whole lot about it, essentially absolute value is nothing more than a number's distance from 0. So in this case, we would say that the absolute value of 3 is 3 because it's 3 spaces, and the absolute value of -5 is 5 because it's 5 spaces away. Notice that in both cases, I said 3 and 5. I did not include any negative numbers because when I measure distance, it doesn't matter what direction we're going. We're just saying that that's how big or how far this number is from 0. So now that we understand the concept of magnitude, let's go ahead and extend that to this concept of opposite, where you have the same magnitude but in a different direction. So let's say I want to know the opposite of 7. So the first thing I would note is, well, where does 7 fall on the number line? Well, 7 is positive, so it's going to be 7 spaces in the positive direction from 0. And I noticed that 7 has a magnitude of 7 spaces. So that means if I want to find its opposite, I need to find, well, what is the number with the same magnitude, aka 7 spaces, but going in the different direction on the number line? Well, here we went in the positive direction. Well, the only other way I can go is the negative direction. So I'm going to go 7 spaces to the left of 0. Well, what number do we land on when we go 7 spaces to the left of 0? Well, it's nothing more than -7. So that means that the opposite of 7 is just -7. So let's say I want the opposite of -4. I would do the same thing. I would first plot -4, 4 spaces to the left of 0. Then to find its opposite, I need the same magnitude in the other direction. So I need to go 4 spaces to the right of 0. And where would that land? Well, it would be +4, of course. So the opposite of -4 is just +4. And that's really all you need to know about magnitude and its related concept of absolute value, and opposites, which is related to magnitude, but then numbers going in different directions with that same magnitude.